Let's go to Stamford Bridge, because it's always a good watch. Enzo Maresca and this young Chelsea team continue, my friend, to improve, continue to impress. Robbie Mustoe shaking his head in there. I love what I'm seeing, and this is a team for a few seasons.
For a decade.
Decades.
We're seeing the start of a really good team, and of the age of them, of course. They could, I'm not going to say dominate, because I'm not sure anybody's going to dominate, but they're onto good things.
Yeah.
They're obviously onto good things. They got a smart manager that is tactical stuff now, is really good, and we've broke it down many times. Yeah. It's kind of cool what he's trying to do. You see it all the time. The players know what they're doing. Yeah. And the biggest thing about this, and I said it on the air, is that he's found a system or a way of playing that suits everybody.
Yeah.
Suits everybody, Rob. It suits Cole Palmer, and it suits Enzo
Fernandez in that midfield.
To be a little higher. Yeah. It suits both of them. I don't want to see them trekking back as a winger or trying to do work Enzo Fernandez as a number 6, where he doesn't want to do it. He wants to be where he's playing. Yeah. He's found a way with clever tactical side, with a fullback coming into midfield, with a holding player to have his base, and you go and do what you want to do. And I've still got my wingers, and I've still got my striker that's becoming a regular, reliable goal scorer with a great age, learning all the time, with a good squad of players. And they were ridiculed at the start, Rob.
Yeah.
With all these players, these two sporting directors, co-sporting directors, they wanted the manager out, Pochettino out, and they wanted this guy in. At the moment, well done, those guys. And well done, the club, because I really like, as any other team right now, I'm enjoying watching this team grow and improve and feel so comfortable. That was so easy. I want to definitely get onto Aston Villa. But that game, another game with Chelsea, they're winning games, Rob, pretty easily. Yeah. And these young players are learning all the time. A lot of good things to come from Chelsea.
The stick that everyone was beating Maresca and Chelsea was the amount of players, the squad. That's going to be a problem. I heard him say, interestingly, in his press conference recently, that it's one squad, and I take a different team and different set of players for certain games. Conference League has been good to him, Rob, because it means players are getting minutes if they're not in the first team in the Premier League. And then we're seeing the quality of depth that they have when some of those players are on the bench. So you can bring on Nkunku, you can bring on Felix.
Madueke.
You can bring on Madueke. Quality operators, because you've got that depth of squad. The other thing, Rob, that I particularly like, some of the man management. Enzo Fernandez was a quality world champion player. He wasn't putting the graft in. He was thinking I'm the luxury guy.
Yeah. I can play that pass.
Yeah, and I can be the number 10, and I don't really have to do the work. Enzo Maresca said, you know what? Out you come, Lavia, you go in and show what 2 can do. This week he gets all 3 midfield players. Although Caicedo started at right back, but generally ended up in midfield, which is where he wants.
Puts Enzo to where he wants to play.
And he puts Enzo up to the 10, exactly where he wants to play. So I like the man management in the individual, we ain't carrying any passengers, you have to do your work. And I like the kind of rotation and flexibility he has in, as you say, getting people in the right spots, getting Cole Palmer turned on the half side assets from that right side. I think that's why you're saying things have become easy, because people are understanding the roles.
Totally understand
and what I would say, Rob, now, and it's 13 games in, it might sound a bit bold and a bit crazy, he has left a bigger impression on this football club than Graham Potter in all his time and then Mauricio Pochettino in all his time.
Already.
In 13 games, he's had a bigger imprint on this football club. That's credit to him and the people behind who've bought the players.
Yeah, the only couple of things, so he was asked about whether they're in the title races. We're not ready. And I get it, and I don't think they are ready for that. They're so young. No. I mean, where they are right now, they're absolutely in it. They're in a title race. But whether they can go the whole with those young players, I don't know.
I'm glad he said that, though. I wouldn't want him to say we're in a title race, because I think it would add another layer of pressure that this team don't need.
No, he wants to keep the pressure away. The only thing as well, a player that I absolutely think is brilliant, Wesley Fofana, limped off again, Rob. He looks such a talent. Is he going to be one of those guys that the rigours of Premier League football maybe is a bit much for his body? Again, really early to say that, but he's had so many injury issues. Such a brilliant centre-back, I think. So that wasn't good news.
Having said that, they've got Tosin and they've got Badiashile as backup, so it's nice backup. But I know what you mean, and it's same with Reece James in some respects, isn't it? We've got to talk about the captain. You like to have that settled look about you. All right, let's talk about Aston Villa, mate. Because me and you, if there's one thing we've done over the last year or so, is give Unai Emery tons of credit for how he's turned this club from underperforming to outperforming and getting into the Champions League and playing Bayern Munich and Juventus, etc. at home. Now, this performance from Aston Villa is not acceptable. So now is the time to say, you know what? Fair play. You've done a brilliant job. You're a great coach. We've enjoyed what you've done with the team, but that effort, that performance is not good enough for Aston Villa fans. And it's looking like these big European nights, and I get it. I get it. Bayern Munich at home, Rob, but that atmosphere at Villa Park and Juventus and given everything, the highs of that, they cannot get anywhere near that intensity for the Premier League. And I do understand that. They don't make too many changes. I mean, why would you? He's got a few injured, to be fair. He hasn't got that many options, mate.
Well, he ain't got many injured. He hasn't got many injured.
He's got Onana injured.
Onana's injured and Jacob Ramsey. I mean, on my list there, that's all the two that there are. And I get it, in the Champions League, you want to play your strongest team. So it's not as though he can, like Chelsea have the luxury of the Europa Conference. Who cares? Well, not who cares, but like you can totally, where this is a big deal for Villa. So all that being said, I still want more from my players, Rob, and my manager. I think Unai Emery sat on the bench. It was. I thought that was a little bit concerning, that they're walking, and I've seen that a couple of times now, kind of walking around. They're 2-0 down. I looked at them and like, they don't really look like they want to get back into this game. They kind of seems okay with it, and they're 4-4-2.
They've lost a little bit edge at the top of the pitch, but isn't helpful. Ollie Watkins
had that chance early on.
Has had a good chance. It changes the game.
Other than that,
no, they haven't created too much more, but there hasn't been a threat.
But the effort wasn't there.
John Duran has come off the bench and been a spark. That's gone. No, I think he's come off the bench last 8 games, nothing. So when you haven't got that at one end, Rob, you're not defending well. And the big thing with Villa, I wrote a note. I said, Villa have to play with energy, intensity to be Villa, to be Unai Emery's Villa.
The height that they play and the way they want to push you in. If there's no intensity,
you get done.
There's a lot of space in behind them,
and people get in behind you far too easily. So, listen, I believe in Unai Emery. I think he's a good manager. Listen, they right at the space where Newcastle were. Champions League, Premier League, around this time, November, December. We disagreed. And I felt, and I still feel, this guy can manage his way out of this situation. I'm not going knee-jerk like, there was a poor performance today after a big Champions League week, and I get it. And I get the criticism, and he'll get the criticism. What I would say is, I believe in this manager and the way that he works and the way that he does. And you know what? If you have to change a few players around, this squad was deeper, and I don't quite know where the injury was a
little disappointed. Philogene got in terms of trying to freshen up a little bit.
Instead of Bailey, wasn't he? He rested Bailey.
He had a couple of runs, Philogene. It's difficult. In the Champions League competition, Rob, it's more games. There's more league stage. It's going to get to the knockout. It's hot, and of course it's got to be hard.
I just feel with, and I think I said to one of my mates who was a Villa fan, and said, "Oh, you're always worried about Champions League." And I just said, these players, not long ago, were dealing with making sure they stayed in the league. They're now dealing with trying to be at the top of the league and try and play and that's not easy, mate. And to get to that level,
and I said that. I know it's not easy.
To the level.
But give us a bit more than that. Give us a bit more than that. That's all I'm saying.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Hi there, I'm Rebecca Lowe, studio host of NBC's coverage of the Premier League. Don't forget to hit subscribe to watch more videos all season long. And if you want even more Premier League content, from original series to live matches, head over to Peacock.